Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me, especially at this very weird time that we are all in. However, there is something that you guys really need to know about this time. If you are with a narcissist, that you are at risk. So this video is titled The Risk to You from the Narcissist at This Time. Now, I'm going to talk about those people who are locking down or in quarantine with the narcissist, and I'm going to just be talking about the narcissist as a single individual with no supply at this time also, because both will probably apply to you, whether you realize it or not. So the first thing, for those of you who are going into lockdown or quarantine with a narcissist, you have to realize that there is the potential that they will deliberately try and infect you. This was brought to my attention, I was reminded about this after watching some footage on my friend Val's channel, Toxic Free, and where she actually had captured some video footage of, or not she had, but someone had captured video footage of people spitting on elevator buttons, putting their saliva down the poles in the bus. The fact of the matter is, narcissists think that they are godlike. They think, oh, this is not going to affect me. This is just what silly people are thinking about and talking about. But there's also a side of them that really doesn't like anyone. They are just so full of this kind of hatred to us that they get this, yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, I'm going to make you sick, right? And so they literally will be the ones who will cough in your face when you first wake up and be, oh, sorry, babe, sorry. They will be the ones who be sticking their fingers down their throat and putting their finger in your drink to give it a quick stir before they hand it over, and you'll be like, oh, thanks, babe, you're so considerate, and they're getting fuel from that, and they're getting a good old laugh thinking, yeah, I wonder if this is going to work, because they just don't care. And you have to remember, these people are chronically bored, right? Anything is better than being on lockdown with nothing to do and no fuel to be gained. So there's a whole lot of games that are going to be going on in their head, which you can't see, and that leaves you at a severe disadvantage. So you have to realize, if you have any other option other than locking down with them, take it, because you are at risk, not just of the coronavirus. You've got to remember, these people are chronically bored. These people engage in risky behavior full stop, just because they're kind of like, they can't handle the pressure of being them and of being so dishonest all the time and keeping the mask in place. So occasionally they'll do things and hoping that it's going to, or not even hoping, but they do things not caring what the outcome is. Like, I can think back to my situationship and the amount of strange, ridiculous things that would happen, like, for example, aerosol cans exploding in, in outdoor fire pits. Even though, smart people don't put those kind of things in the fire pit, and the narcissist would always be like, oh, oops, I accidentally missed that one. That kind of stuff, risky behavior, done purely to see what happens. Hey, so maybe someone will lose a limb and will be rushed to hospital, and that'll be exciting, and there'll be nurses to chat up. This is the reality with these people. They do not care about anyone. We are all replaceable, and they can't stand being bored. So don't be their entertainment, darlings. All right. So if you are in lockdown with a narcissist, they may sleep a lot, because if they don't have access to their normal fuel supplies, their energy level will be draining, right? And they will be conserving. It's almost like they've got a hibernation, like a hibernate, or sleep, with your computer, how you can turn it on, off, or sleep mode, right? It's like narcs have got a sleep mode, hibernation mode, where they literally they assess the situation, they realize, oh, not much fuel to be gained here, and they will put themselves in hibernation. And I'm speaking about from experience. I experienced the floods where we literally were locked in for 3 days with water all around our house. We couldn't get out. There was nothing we could do. And my husband slept most of it because there was no fuel to be gained. And he was busting a gut to get out once the water had subsided, to get out, to get into the world and to start interacting with other people and to be fueled. All right, they may also fight with you because, once again, coming back to fuel, they always get fuel from arguments. They get fuel from your tears, your begging, your crying, you're questioning them. They just get fuel from that interaction, that spark. Even if you get angry, that fuels them. But the thing is, it's draining for you as the partner because, when normal people argue, they argue, then they resolve things and they sort it out. Whereas with the narcissist, once you've engaged in an argument with them, they keep changing the goalposts. They keep, they will literally do a full 360 on what their point of view is, and you'll be confused and thinking, what the fuck is going on here? And then the whole thing is just about fuel, and you don't even realize it. You think you're arguing about the things you're talking about, but you're not. All that's going on is he's saying words to keep you crying, begging, pleading. And the second, for example, that you go, nah, stuff this, I'm not doing this, and walk out the door, that's when he'll be like, oh no, baby, come back, I'm sorry. Okay? It's all a game. It's all about fuel. And you need to conserve your own energy at a time like this for yourself, for your own immune system, for your own healing. Okay? Another thing that you may experience with the narcissist being in quarantine or lockdown with you is more sex. Same thing again. It's not about falling back in love with you. It's not about anything other than them getting fuel in the ways they know how. And if making you have a screaming orgasm fuels their tank, they're going to do it. They don't care about if you have an orgasm or not. It just makes them feel good to be the man, and the louder the better. Like if the neighbors can hear, that's awesome, because then they'll get fuel from them hearing as well. From the neighbors hearing and laughing and talking about, how he's given it to her real good, or listen to them go, or whatever the hell neighbors think at these times. I mean, really, this is what narcs are about. It's always about getting fuel in any given situation. Right? They don't care about lockdowns, which brings me to my next point, actually. They will be the people that will defy the lockdowns, who will creep out in the middle of the night. They will be putting themselves and you and your household at risk. So if you are quarantined, if you are in a situation where no one's supposed to be moving around and they are moving around, make a call. Do it. Right? Now is the time. Seriously, now is the time to act. If you're still stuck with the narcissist during this situation, right, and the way they're going to treat you during this situation, it's only going to get worse. Believe me. Right? Now is the time to make a call to the authorities if they're out roaming, trying to get more supply, which they will do. Like if they're not, if there's no repercussions, because remember, they're rule breakers. They think rules are for silly people. And they think they're above this, they're not going to catch it. Only old people get it. Like, they don't give a crap about old people. They don't care about anyone but themselves. They're the people that are running around, either telling everyone that, they don't have to worry about it because they just don't care about other people, And the thing is, no matter what your opinion on the virus is, whether it's a man-made thing, whether it's biological warfare, no matter what you think, right, this sense of entitlement, this, well, I'm not going to change the way I'm living because, it's not going to affect me. Like, that sense of entitlement could be fatal. And it's at times like these that I'm actually starting to really notice some of the underlying narcissistic tendencies in some of the people closer to me. And it's fascinating. So, no matter what your belief is, do the right thing. Practice the universal precautions, distancing, washing your hands. Think about other people other than yourself. I mean, most of you know this, right? Most of you do. The narcissists, they don't care. Like, they really don't care. You can't appeal to them. They don't care. Or they'll be saying, yeah, but not practicing any of that stuff. They'll be the ones licking their hands and putting it all over things, coughing on things. I hope that they actually accidentally infect themselves. That's what I hope. No, I don't really, but it's tempting to hope that. All right, lovelies. So, another thing they're going to be doing, if they, depending on where you are in your cycle of your relationship, a lot of them will be trying to get you to be really scared. So they'll be doing this end of days thing, you know, and they'll be, for example, going out into the world, then reporting back to you all the snippets of gossip and news and info, and knowing that you're getting scared, but they're getting off on you getting scared, and then they're getting fuel when they get to say, no, baby, I'm going to protect you. It's okay. It's you and me against the world. I'll never let anything bad happen to you, you know, or whatever rubbish they're telling you. The fact of the matter is that narcissists will use any situation to manipulate you so that you're pumping out fuel, whether it's fuel through adoration, fuel through fear, through lust. It's all about fuel. And if those of you who don't know what I mean by fuel, it's purely just any emotional reaction that we have. Reaction that we have where there's emotion behind it. So, like I said, if you rage at them, if you scream, if you cry, if you beg, if you plead, you know, if please tell me, baby, what have I done? What have I done wrong? All of that stuff is fuel. People admiring them, people going, you know, look at his car, you know, or he's so good at his job, or he's amazing, he's a pillar of society, you know, or he's such a good family man. All of that admiration, they prefer to be admired than known. Right? They don't want people to actually know who they are. They much prefer to be admired. I'm sidetracking. I'm going to back on down. All right. So they will engage in risky behaviour. So that means that if you're in quarantine with them and they're sneaking out, touching handrails, and you know, having sex with randoms and stuff, your household will be at risk. So if you do have children, right, now's the time to really consider how much of how long you want to keep doing this with these people. I mean, really, how long do you want to be so insignificant to someone and to be giving them everything? That's the main thing. We give them everything, and yet they treat us so badly. All right, lovelies. So getting down to the single narcs. The single narcs at this time will be desperate to shack up with someone, right? Because they know if they're going into lockdown, they're going to need to be around people. The more people, the better. So they're going to gravitate towards households where there are more people, even if that's just a woman with children. Right? That's better than one woman by herself. So women with children, share houses, places where there's two of his exes, even better, so he could triangulate. Don't be surprised if some of these narcs try and round up their exes and try and get them into one compound, you know, for the end of days. I mean, that would be narc heaven. They'd get to triangulate everyone, play everyone off against each other. It would be like having pay-per-view television going 24/7 in real life for the narcissist. They would love it, right? So be mindful of that. They will hoover you, right? Even if it's just so that they can keep you on backup fuel. So if they have fuel already, if they have a new supply and they've got secondary supply, they may still reach out just on the off chance that one of their fuel sources gets sick, right, and then can't pump out the fuel like they used to. Also, once again, remember, the narcissist, whether single or in a relationship, will try and conserve their energy. Just like when prisoners go into jail, right? When narcissists become prisoners and they end up in jail, they spend a lot of time in their head, right? This is where they get their fuel from. They get it from their, interactions with people, but then they also live in a world of memories and future imaginings. They manage to fuel themselves from the thought of when I get out, after this is done, just, she better run when she sees me coming. Like, they actually fuel themselves with that rage because, they've got fuel backup, right? But it's for emergencies, okay? This will be one of those cases. All right, the last thing, darlings, is They will be on the phone a lot more. They will be accessing the internet. They'll be accessing the cam girls. So if you have joint accounts, your joint account will probably take a hit over this season, no matter how long this lasts for, because once again, they're not going to be, they're going to do whatever they can to get fuel. I mean, as I said, darlings, really, if you've got children with them, I know it's hard. Like, I understand that at the moment everyone's scared, and you know, we tend to cling to what we know, but maybe this is actually the time to do the complete opposite. Maybe this is the time to let go, to trust in God or the universe or the higher power, to trust that this is all happening for a reason, you know, and maybe, just maybe, you know, you can let them go and do something else with other people, start something different, focus on you and the kids again. I mean, like I said, I understand. Like, I really, really do understand. It took a flood, a crisis for me to really, really feel just how alone I was in my situationship. And I had been there for years, over a decade, before I really felt just how alone I was with all of the problems. You know, sure, he was there physically, but emotionally and psychologically, it was all on me. You know, he'd flip-flop all over the place. You know, he'd be here one minute, then he'd be gone. Your narcs are no different. You know, they all have the same playbook. They all do the same things. Okay? So be smart, survive this, kick him out, just kick him out. If you can do it, do it. Now's the time. Let them go locked down with someone else. Someone else, somewhere else. And you know what? The amazing thing is they'll come out of this in a month, 6 months, with new supply. Don't think they'll be grieving about you too long, darling. You know, and then you'll really see just how replaceable you were. You know, then you'll really see how you were just wasting your love and loyalty on a complete loser. Trust me, I know about this. All right, darlings, take care, and yeah, get narc free and stay narc free. All right, lovelies, bye.